Good morning, all. Today we are going to start a new topic on somaclonal variation. Somaclonal variation is a variation produced during the plant tissue culture when we are again and again doing subculture. So when we are doing again and again subculture, what will happen? Their genetic and somatic characteristics will change because under the artificial condition, these plant cells and tissues they can able to produce different type of characters. So these different type of characters when we are culturing or when we are subculturing again and again, these characteristic only we are calling somaclonal variation. So in current topic we will learn about the somaclonal variation and how it is very useful to produce new type of somatic and genetic characteristics. So by the definition, the genetic variation in plants that have been produced by the plant tissue culture and can be detected as genetic or phenotypic trait. So these genetic characters we can detect it as a phenotypic trait, somatic cells, somatic characteristics, and we can detect also in the DNA. And these genetic character when it will be there, these are all permanent characters, and these permanent character can able to transfer into the offspring. So these genetic characters, if it will be changed, then it will be more useful compared to phenotypic traits, since genetic characters is permanent and can able to transfer from one plant to another plant, and these phenotypic characters is it is present only the tissues or cells which is having these characteristics, and they can't able to transform from one plant to another plant. If suppose you want to transfer it, you have to again use the tissue culture technique so that you can easily able to transfer it from one plant to another. Sometime what will happen, these somaclonal variation can cause the enzyme and two type of or three or more than two type of enzyme. If they will do same type of function, then it will we are calling isozyme. So isozyme characteristic can increase the good characteristic in the plant, and these good characteristics we can utilize to for the gaining the profit. So these morphology in somaclone may also observed when we are again and again subculturing. So Cali clone of Callus clones, very clones of the meristem and protoclones, clones of the protoplast. Now we know there are three type of clones we can able to produce in the laboratory. First type is Cali clone, second type is Mary clone, and third type is protoclone. So Cali clone we are calling the callus cells which is produced by only a single cell. So a single cell, from a single cell when we are produced the many cells, and these cells is a copy of the single cells. That's why we are calling clone. And since it is a callus, that's why we are calling Cali clone. Next term is the Mary clone is there, and when we are taking the meristematic cell, and these meristematic cell can able to divide and produce some type of meristematic cells. So these cells we are calling Mary clones since they are produced from the single cells. That's why their characteristic and genetic organization is same with the other type of cells. Then protoclone is there, and protoclones are the those type of soil cells which is the clones of protoplast. So when we are a single protoplast can able to utilize to produce different type of protoplast, and that produced protoplast is the clone because they are originated from a single cell. So we are calling protoclone, and these three type of clones we can able to produce when we are doing somaclonal variation. See, we already know that somaclonal variation we can able to produce when again and again subculture we are doing. So when again and again subculture we are doing means different cells in their clone, they are producing their own clone. So when we are producing these type of clones and different cells and tissues, when we are utilizing to produce these type of clones. So different clones can able to make the soma clone variation. So generally habitable mutations and persist in plant population even after plantation into the field. And these type of soma clonal variation can be have heritable mutation, and they will be persist in the population and if you will plant into the field. And these habitable mutation which will as a characterize as a variation may be something useful in the plant, and they can be able to persist in the field, and they will be useful to maybe increase the productivity of the plant. Maybe they will give more leaves, maybe their height will decrease, maybe the life cycle will be decrease, and they can give more production. So these heritable mutation can able to be persist in the field when we will transfer in these plants into the field. Now mechanism of somatosynthetic variation. So two type of mechanism we know. First one is the genetic mechanism, second one is the epigenetic mechanism. Genetic mechanism is heritable since this type of somatosynthetic variation came into the DNA, and because they are happened in the DNA, that's why they are heritable type of variation. So pre-existing variation in the somatic cells of the explant can caused by the mutation and other DNA changes, and they are occurring in the high frequency. So when variation is happening in the somatic cells, and somatic cell can able to have mutation in the DNA, and since DNA is changing, so that the whatever gene is having that type of mutation, so that mutated gene can able to produce the mutated type of mRNA, and mutated type of mRNA can able to translate into the mutated protein. So chances is there that mutated protein can able to increase the productivity of the plant. So we are selecting those plant which is having positive somaclonal variation. See, negative somaclonal variations also there, and we are not concentrating on negative, since our aim is to improve the plant varieties, plant production. That's why what we are doing, we are focusing only the positive characteristics. So we have to select those cell which is having positive type of characteristics, and the mutation which we are inducing through the somaclonal variation, it can be, if it can be increase the production, then it will be useful. So our target is to increase the production, and through the somaclonal variation we can easily increase. So genetic variation, when it will be there, these genetic character these genetic changes will be permanent, since it is happening in the DNA, and these DNA can be heritable from one generation to another generation. That's why it will be more useful. The next type of mechanism is epigenetic, and these epigenetic variations is non-heritable type of variation. Since it is not happening in the DNA and DNA is not changing, that's why it is not non-type of heritable. Then variation generated during the tissue culture caused by temporary phenotypic changes, and it occur at the low frequency. So variation which is happening during the tissue culture, and it is caused by the temporary phenotypic, and it is in the very low frequency, and because they are not in the DNA, so it is non-heritable type of variation. Temporary changes in the phenotypic characteristics only related with the epigenetic changes. So epigenetic changes, when it will be happen, so only it is a part of the current tissues and the cell. So these epigenetic characteristic is temporary, since they are not happening inside the DNA, and when we are generating new type of plant from the existing somaclonal variant, then these somaclonal variant can't able to carry these characteristic into the next generation, since they are not heritable. Then next is how we can able to generate the soma clonal variation. So soma clonal variation can be able to generate when we are again and again subculture. So for subculturing, we know that callus is a main type of tissue we can able to produce. So when our target is to produce the soma clonal variation, so first we have to select the plant, and after selection we have to produce the callus, our callus cells. These callus cell can able to again and again subculture in the fresh media, so that the number of cells will be increased, and we have to produce the organogenesis, and after the organ production we can produce the plant lips. These plant we have to harden, and we can transfer into the field, and then we have to select the those plant which is having soma clonal variation. And the soma clonal variant also we can utilize to produce again the callus tissues. Then if we will culture again and again, we can able to produce more soma clonal variation. So ultimately the soma clone can be have the heritable and non-heritable type of soma clonal variant, and these variant can be utilized to produce many n number of plants, and these improved varieties can able to give to farmers, and then they will be benefited. So these are all the steps involve the induction and selection of the soma clonal variation. Now cause of soma clonal variation. So first cause is a physiological cause, second one is genetic cause, third one is biological cause. Now the physical, genetic and biochemical. On the physical, genetic and biochemical level, these different bases is there, and these different bases can able to generate the soma clonal variation. Now first we will take physiological cause. So exposure of culture to plant growth regulator and culture condition may be cause the physiological differentiation in the cells. So when we will grow these plant tissues and cells in the artificial environment, so these tissues and plant will become the stress, and when we are changing the environmental condition in the artificial mode, and when we are giving the artificial media and the humidity and the temperature, so these are all condition can able to stressful for the plant tissues and cells. These stressful condition only produce the hormonal variation. Then we are giving the plant growth regulator also to the plant, and these growth regulator can able to induce we can artificially inducing these characteristics using the growth regulator. So these plant growth regulator also is a reason when we are giving the lower and higher concentration. This low and high concentration, when these plant cells and tissue will receive, they will be in the stress condition. Next is culture condition. So culture condition is included in the temperature variation and media composition variation and humidity variation. So these different conditions that we will provide so that somatoformal variation can be occur in the plant tissue culture. Next is genetic cause. In genetic cause, we have first change in the chromosome number. So when we are subculturing again and again, so number of the chromosome will be increase or it may be decrease. This increased number of chromosome can be change the characteristics of the plant. So if the plant is changing into the euploidy, and euploidy we name the changes in the chromosomal set. So set can be increased or set can be decreased. So we are calling euploidy. Aneuploidy changes in the part of the chromosome sets, and polyploidy and monoploidy is two type of aneuploidy. In polyploidy, organisms with more than two chromosome set can able to produce, and these two sets chromosome can able to enhance the characteristics of the plant. And monoploidy means when the organism with one chromosome set is only present in the cell. So these different chromosome number can able to change the normal cell into the somatoform variant type of cell, and maybe they are having positive type of characteristic, and we have to select it, and on the basis of characteristic we can select those somatoformal useful plant, and then we can able to propagate and we can transfer it to the Now changes in chromosome structure. So four type of changes is there in the chromosome structure, and these four type of changes can able to cause the chromosomal variation. First one is the deletion, second one is the inversion, third one is duplication, fourth one is the translocation. You will see these four type of chromosomal structure changes in detail. So first one is the deletion, and these deletion happen when the any part of the chromosome or entire arm or entire chromosome will be deleted, and these deleted may be having some important genes. These genes can able to produce the proteins, and these protein can able to, if it will be not there, so the particular type of functional it may be is not present in the plant, and maybe because of that the protein can have this some of the normal variation. It may be a useful type of deletion, it may be a non-useful type of deletion. So because of the deletion, these somatic variation can able to produce. Then next is the inversion, and we know that these genes is present on the chromosomes, and these the orientation of the genes or orientation of the DNA, if it is changed or inverted, so the because of the inversion the genetic structure will be changed of the chromosome, and it will cause the chromosomal variation. Then sometime what will happen, the chromosome numbers will be duplicated. Normally in haploid one chromosome is there, and in diploid two chromosome is there. And we know that the many plant varieties which is having multiple numbers of chromosomes, they are having very good type of characteristics. So when these multiple type of chromosome numbers will be increased, so the chances there the positive type of chromosome chromosomal variation it will be reduced. So here the number of chromosomes is increasing, so that the here we can see the chromosome number 21 is in the three copies. Normally there are two copies of each chromosome, and these are the diploid variety. Sometime what will happen during the replication phase, these chromosome because the plant is in the stress, so this stress can cause the improper duplication, and this improper duplication can able to increase the chromosome number. Next is translocation. So translocation of the any part of the chromosome translocated from the one chromosome to another chromosome, and the interchange they will interchange the chromosome, so that what will happen, the when the translocation will occur, so one part of the chromosome change the location from one chromosome to another chromosome. So this translocation can cause the changes in the genes, and the so that what will happen, some genes can able to increase the rate of the production of the protein, and they will cause the somatic variation. These somatic variation by these structural change we have in the positive effect on the somatic variation, and the somatic variant we have to select it, and then we can able to use for the different type of varieties. We can improve the varieties. Then next is genetic cause. So first one is the gene mutation, and gene mutation is there by the four method. The first one is the transition, second one is the conversion, then insertion and deletion. So transition, transversion, insertion and deletions are the four method where the gene mutation will come. And sometime what will happen, gene because of the gene mutation the plant varieties can improve the characteristics, and these improved characteristics of the plant varieties you can utilize for the purpose of the improvement of the crop. Next is plasmagene mutation. We know that when all the DNA material in the eukaryotic organism is present in the nucleus, mitochondria, and chloroplast. If the gene is changed in the outside the nucleus, we are calling the plasmagene. It may be in the mitochondria, it may be in the chloroplast. So these mitochondrial gene mutation and the chloroplast gene mutation if it will be there in the plant cell, so that it may be change the variation of the plant varieties, and maybe it will cause the improvement of the plant variety. So these plasma gene mutation can able to improve the plant varieties, and more chances there these plasma gene improvement, so that we have the more good characteristics in the somaclonal variant. Then next is transposable element activation. We know that many genes is changing their position from the chromosomes, and they will travel from one point to another point, and they can copy and they can make their own copy, so that copy can able to transfer chromosome or on the same chromosome. So sometime what will happen, these transposable element or transposable gene or transposomes, they, they will create the new type of genes, and these new type of genes can able to produce new type of protein, and these new type of protein can able to generate the positive impact on the crop development. So when these transposable element can able to travel from one location to another location, they can improve the crop varieties. So transposable element will be activated when we are culturing these plant tissues again and again. So while the stressful condition, when we are subculturing the plant tissues and cell again and again, and when we are putting these cells and tissues into the stressful artificial condition, so transposable element will be activated, and these transposable element, when it will be activated, so that they will do more transposition, and these more transposition can maybe produce the traits in the plant varieties, and new traits can be useful. The next reason of the somatic variation is the genetic sequence changes. We know that the genes are made up of the genetic sequences, and these genetic sequences like adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine, if these genetic sequences will be changed, so that plant gene sequence will be changed, and if gene sequence will be changed, so protein sequence will be changed, and these new type of protein which maybe have increased characteristics or decreased characteristics. So the plant varieties which is having is increased characteristics, we have to select it and we can utilize for the crop improvement. Now these changes in the DNA detection of alter fragment size by using restriction enzymes. So using RFLP we can able to detect these alter fragment in size or DNA sequence. We can sequence if it will be changed, we can able to detect using the RFLP. Then change in the protein. So if protein will be changed due to the mutation in the genetic sequence, so maybe loss or gain in the protein band, and alteration in the level of specific protein is there. So when any level of protein can be increased or it may be decreased, then it may be a useful characteristic or it may be unuseful characteristic. So useful characteristics we can select it and we can propagate as a somatic variant and we can transform into the good variety type of crops. Then methylation of DNA. So methylation is related with the inactivation of the any type of genes, and when these gene is inactivated after the methylation, so these methylated gene can't able to produce the mRNA, and these mRNA can't able to when this mRNA is not produced, so that the particular protein will not be produced. So when the transcription is not happen in the cell, so this non-transcription can able to cause the non-production of the particular type of protein. So methylation can increase when we are putting the plant cell and tissues on the methyl, and we will give the more methyl content in the media. So methylation will be increased when we are again and again subculturing on that type of media. So methylation also we can induce the somatic variation and we can improve the crop varieties. Next is biochemical cause. So many reason is there of biochemical improvement of the somaclonal variation. So lack of photosynthetic ability due to alteration in carbon metabolism. So we can improve the plant varieties by inducing the photosynthetic ability. And when these plant cells can able to do more photosynthetic, so their ability will be, we can increase to photosynthesis. And when their ability will increase, so their production rate will be increased, and they can able to produce more starch, and their production rate will be increased. Then biosynthesis of starch via carotenoid pathway. When we are changing the pathways of starch synthesizing to the carotenoid pathway, so the quantity of the starch synthesis will be more, and then these starch, then it will be more in the plant, so that the production rate we can increase indirectly. Then nitrogen metabolism, we know that the nitrogen is a main part. Nitrogen is a main element which is quantity wise, it is required mainly in large quantity. So when the plant can able to metabolize these nitrogen directly, so that the plant production can be increased. Otherwise, we have to provide nitrogen in the as a fertilizer, so that we can increase. So if we are having those type of varieties which can utilize nitrogen more effectively, so that the production will be increased. Then antibiotic resistance. So antibiotic resistance, many varieties we produce, and when we are killing the bacterial infection in the plant, so that antibiotic we have to treat these plant varieties. But if we can able to produce those varieties which is having bacterial resistance, so we will not use these antibiotics, and we can reduce the cost. Now, how we can produce the soma clones in the laboratory? So first we have to select the explant, and suitable explant may be selected from the apical bud or axillary buds, or meristematic tissues we can select. And these explant, when we will take inside the laboratory, we have to surface sterilize. After the surface sterilization, we have to put the under the tissue culture condition, and we can put these under the aseptic environment, so that they can able to produce the de-differentiation. And these de-differentiated tissues we can able to produce the callus pre-induction media, so that these de-differentiated cells can able to produce the callus. These callus cells then we will transfer into the suspension culture, or we can again and again subculture, so that the number of cells can be increased easily. So the suspension culture, when we will transfer, so that number of cells will be divided very fast, and we can have more number of cells. Then long-term maintenance we will do in the callus, and these when long-term maintenance we can increase, and we can give different stressful condition. And these stressful condition like chemical changes or environmental changes, if we will put the plant. So these plants will be produce a many type of somaclonal variation. These somaclonal variant we can able to regenerate into the plants, and these plantlet we can transfer into the acclimatizing condition. And these acclimatized plant, when we will put into the multiplication and field trial, so that we can able to select those plant varieties which is having stable characteristics. And these stable characteristics we can give to the farmers, so that they can be benefited. In this very basic method, we can able to produce somaclonal variation. Next is detection and isolation of somaclonal variant. So using this different various technique, we can able to detect the somaclonal variation in the plant cell and tissues. So first one, the analysis of morphological characteristics. So we can analyze the using microscope, using qualitative method and quantitative method. We can analyze the plant cells and tissues, and we can determine whether the somaclonal variation is happening or not. So qualitative characters, we can determine the plant height, maturity date, flowering date, and leaf size. So in the plantlets, we can able to first determine the plant height, maturity rate, and flowering date, and leaf size. So if the size and these are all characters is increased in the plantlets, so we can say the somaclonal variation, it will be there. Then quantitative characteristics. These quantitative characters like the yield of flowers, seeds, wax content in the different plant parts, if it will be there, then we are calling the quantitative characteristics. These quantitative characteristics we can compare with the normal plant and soma clonal plant. So soma clonal plant, if these content of the seeds and the is increased compared to normal plant, then we are calling the morphological characteristics is improved in the soma clonal. Then next type of variant detection by the cytological studies. So staining of meristematic tissues like root tip, leaf tip with fusion and acetocarmine provide the number and morphology of the chromosome. So if we can able to see in the microscope with the fusion and acetocarmine stains, so we can able to know that the number of chromosome is increase or decrease, and then we can detect the somaclonal variation. Then variant detection by the DNA content. When we are doing cytophotometer detection of the fusions and nuclei can be used to measure the DNA content. If the DNA content is increased or decreased in the somaclonal variation, so we can easily detect and we can able to detect the somaclonal variation. Then variant detection by the gel electrophoresis. So when changes in concentration of enzyme, protein, and chemicals product like pigment, alcohol, alkaloids, and amino acid can be detected by their electrophoretic patterns. So these changes in the chemicals we can able to easily detect when we are doing gel electrophoresis, and in the gel electrophoresis the quantity of these enzyme, protein, and other product chemicals if it will be increased, so that we can able to easily say that the chromosomal variation is introduced. Then next is detection of disease resistance variant. So disease resistance variant, when we will detect so the pathogens or toxins responsible for the particular disease, if we will infect those somaclone so that if they are having resistancy, so they will be unaffected. If the somaclonal variation is there and they are having resistance type of variety, so they will not be, so they don't have any type of infection when we are artificially giving the pathogenic infection and toxin infection. Then next is detection of herbicide resistance variant. So plantlet generated by the addition of herbicide to the cells culture system can be used as a herbicide resistance plant. So when we are culturing the somaclonal variation and when we are giving low to high quantity of the herbicides in the plant media, so these plant cells can be easily get resistance against these herbicides. And when we can able to generate and transfer those plants late into the fields, so these plant varieties will be resistant against the herbicides, and we can utilize to kill the weeds plant when we are spraying these herbicides in the field. Then next is detection and isolation of somaclonal variant. So using this different various technique, we can able to detect the somaclonal variation in the plant cell and tissues. So first one is the analysis of morphological characteristics. So we can analyze the using microscope, using qualitative method and quantitative method. We can analyze the plant cells and tissues, and we can determine whether the somaclonal variation is happening or not. So qualitative characters, we can determine the plant height, maturity date, flowering date, and leaf size. So in the plantlets, we can able to first determine the plant height, maturity rate, and flowering date and leaf size. So if the size and these are all characters is increased in the plantlets, so we can say the somaclonal variation it will be there. Then quantitative characteristics. These quantitative characters like the yield of flowers, seeds, wax content in the different plant parts, if it will be there, then we are calling the quantitative characteristics. These quantitative characteristics we can compare with the normal plant and somaclonal plant. So somaclonal plant, if these content of the seeds and the is increased compared to normal plant, then we are calling the morphological characteristics is improved in the somaclonal. Then next type of variant detection by the cytological studies. So staining of meristematic tissues like root tip, leaf tip with fusion and excitocarmine provide the number and morphology of the chromosome. So if we can able to see in the microscope with the fusion and excitocarmine stains, so we can able to know that the number of chromosome is increase or decrease, and then we can detect the chromosome variation. Then variant detection by the DNA content. When we are doing cytophotometer detection of the fusions and nuclei can be used to measure the DNA content. If the DNA content is increased or decreased in the somatic variation, so we can easily detect and we can able to detect the somatic variation. Then variant detection by the gel electrophoresis. So when changes in concentration of enzyme, protein, and chemicals product like pigment, alcohol, alkaloids, and amino acid can be detected by their electrophoretic patterns. So these changes in the chemicals we can able to easily detect when we are doing gel electrophoresis. And in the gel electrophoresis, the quantity of these enzyme, protein, and other product chemicals, if it will be increased, so that we can able to easily say that the chromosomal variation is reduced. Then next is detection of disease resistance variant. So disease resistance variant, when we will detect so the pathogens or toxins responsible for the particular disease, if we will infect those soma clones, so that they have, if they are having resistancy, so they will be unaffected. If the soma clonal variation is there and they are having resistance type of variety, so they will not be, so they don't have any type of infection when we are artificially giving the pathogenic infection and toxin infection. Then next is detection of herbicide resistance variant. So plantlet generated by the addition of herbicide to the cells culture system can be used as a herbicide resistance plant. So when we are culturing the stomach variation and when we are giving low to high quantity of the herbicides in the plant media, so these plant cells can be easily get resistance against these herbicides. And when we can able to generate and transfer those plants late into the fields, so these plant varieties will be resistance against the herbicides, and we can utilize to kill the weeds plant when we are spraying these herbicides in the field. Next is detection of environmental stress tolerance variant. So selection of the high salt tolerant cells lying in tobacco easily we can do. So high salt tolerance plant we can able to propagate where the high level of salt is there in the soil, and these high level of salt can able to suppress the plant normal plant growth. So if we are growing the high salt level tolerant cell lines, so these high level salt tolerant can able to easily grow in the soil which is having high salt concentration. Then selection of waterlogging and drought resistant cell lines in the tomato. So when we are culturing the waterlogged and drought resistant variety of the many plants, so these plants can able to easily grow when the waterlogging condition is there or condition is there. So these water resistance, waterlogging resistance, and drought resistance variety can able to grow in the waterlogging area and drought area. Then selection of the temperature stress tolerance in the cell lines. We can able to give the temperature stress in the culture condition. So when we are providing the temperature variation in the culture condition, so what will be happen? These different condition can able to induce the somaclonal variation, and the somaclonal variant we can able to select it so that we can able to generate the somaclonal variation in the cell lines and plantlets. And these plantlets can able to be temperature stress tolerant, and they can able to grow very nicely when the temperature will be increased. Then selection of mineral toxicity tolerant in sorghum plant, mainly for the aluminum toxicity. So these mineral toxicity tolerant plant species can able to grow very easily where the soil is having high toxic amount of metal ions, and these metal ions, if it is there when we are growing normal varieties, these normal variety can't able to grow properly. since the metallic ions can able to suppress the growth of the plant. So what we required, we have to require the those variety which can able to grow very easily in the condition of the minerals or toxicities. Now advantages of soma-clonal variation. So first advantage is the soma-clonal variation can help in the crop improvement. We saw many crop varieties which is having herbicide resistance, pest resistance, drought resistance, high salt resistance, even though temperature resistance or other different environmental condition resistance variety we produce. And these varieties can help the farmers to gain more production rate when these conditions is there. Like if the rain is less, so we have to grow the drought resistance variety. So if we are growing the drought resistance variety, so the production rate will be increased in the drought condition. Then creation of additional genetic variation. When we are having a plant which is having additional genetic variation through the sum of normal variation, so that the characteristics of the plant can be induced and can be changed, so that the genetic variation will be improved when we are doing soma variation. Then increase and improve production of secondary metabolites when we are growing plants in the under the stressful conditions. So these stressful conditions can induce the secondary metabolites production, and these secondary metabolites can able to easily cope up with the stressful condition. That's why the plant is producing more secondary metabolites. These secondary metabolites is in the market they are having, and these secondary metabolites can able to sell in the market so that the farmers can able to generate more extra profit. So we have to produce more somaclonal variation, and these somaclonal variation can be improved the secondary metabolite production, so that farmers will be benefited more. Then selection of the plant resistance to various toxins, herbicide, high salt concentration, and minerals toxicity. So the varieties we have to produce, which is can be more different conditional resistance, and these different conditional resistance plant varieties can able to be having higher advantages in terms of toxins, herbicide, high salt concentration, and mineral toxicity. So these resistance variety when the farmers can able to go, so that they can be have more beneficial when they are growing these varieties. Then suitable for breeding of the tree species. Many tree species they are growing very slow. So when we are having fast growing breeds of the tree species, so that farmers will be benefited, and they will have in the less they can decrease the life cycle of the plant varieties or tree species, so that plant varieties and tree species can able to grow very fast, so that farmers will be benefited again. Now disadvantages of soma chronal variation. So many disadvantages also there when we are talking about the soma chronal variation. Particularly a series of disadvantages occur in the operation which require clonal uniformity, and it is in the horticulture and forestry industry where the tissue culture is employed for rapid propagation of allied genotypes. So sometimes leads to undesirable result when we are culturing the somatogonal variation, and these undesirable result is having negative impact on the somatogonal variation production. So these undesirable result is main problem, and these undesirable characteristics can able to cause the negative impact on the industry, because all of the your result is having undesirable characteristic. These undesirable characteristic can cause the a major disadvantage. Then selected variant are random and genetically unstable. So whatever somagonal variant you are selecting, these selected somagonal variation can be random and genetically unstable. That's why stable genetic characteristic it is very hard to select, and you have to continuously check the and detect the somagonal variation, which is very stable. Then require extensive and extended feedback. When we are talking about the stable characteristic, genetic or somatic characteristics, these stable characteristics required extensive and extended field trial. Then only we can able to detect the stable plant characteristics in the plant varieties, and then only we have to provide these stable plants characteristics to the farmers. Then it is not suitable for complex agronomic trait like yield, quality, etc. And when we are talking about the increasing the yield and quality of the plant, so it will not having any greater impact, and that's why somagonal variation will not be useful for the improvement in terms of yield and quality. Then it may develop variant with pleiotropic effect, which are not true for the plant varieties. Now some important books, and these are all books is very useful for the study. First book is Plant Cell and Tissue Culture by Indra K. Vasil and Trevor Wenthrop. Plant Cell and Tissue Culture, a tool in biotechnology, basics and application, principle and practice by Carl Harman Newman and Ashwani Kumar. So next book is Plant Cell and Tissue Culture Methods in Molecular Biology by Jeffrey W. Pollard and John M. Walker. Next book is Plant Cell and Tissue Culture for the Production of Food Ingredient by Tom Janfu and Gurmeet Singh. Then some important questions we'll see. First question is genetic variation in plants that have been produced by continuously subculture. Option A is somagonal variation. Option B is callus production. Option C is shoot production. Option D is somatic embryogenesis. So you have to select any one correct answer. Then next question, clones of callus called. Option A is somaclone variation. Option B is caliclone. Option C is protoclone. Option D is vericlone. So any one correct answer you have to choose. Then next question, clones of the meristem called. Option A is somaclone variation. Option B is caliclone. Option C is protoclone. Option D is vericlone. Then next question, clones of the protoplast called. Option A is somaclonal variation. Option B is caliclone. Option C is protoclone. Option D is vericlone. So any one of correct answer you have to choose again. Then next question, non-heritable variation called. Option A is epigenetic. Option B is genetic. Option C is non-genetic. Option D is paragenetic. So again, you have to choose a correct answer. Then next question, the variation in vitro culture is called as. Option A is a in vitro variation. Option B is mutation. Option C is somaclonal variation. Option D is callus. Then next question, genetic variation observed in callus of 10-pound tissue culture is called. Option A is morphogenesis. Option B is rhizogenesis. Option C is calogenesis. Option D is somaclonal variation. So again, you have to select any one correct answer. Then next question, what are the somaclones? Option A is plant chemically identical to the original plant. Option B is plant morphologically identical to the original plant. Option C is plant anatomically identical to the original plant. Option D is plant genetically identical to the original plant. So anyone you have correct answer you have to select. So thank you being with us, and we will meet you again in the next topic and the next class. Thank you.